All right, so we're diving into this epic match, this Liverpool versus Manchester City clash from February 23rd, 2025. And you guys have sent in, like, a ton of material on this game.
Oh, yeah.
Which tells me you want more than just, like, the score. You want to really get into, like, the WHY, you know,
Absolutely.
the tactical chess match that led to Liverpool's 2-0 victory.
Right, and I think it's important to remember the context, too.
Yeah.
You know, Liverpool going into this match, they're top of the table, they're looking good, feeling confident, but City's 8 points behind.
Yeah.
Desperate to stay in that title race.
Yeah, so you've got pressure on both sides, but in very different ways.
Totally.
And their styles are just so different. Like, you've got Liverpool known for that organized defense and just those, like, deadly counterattacks.
Yeah, whereas City, under Pep, right? They're all about possession.
Possession, yeah.
They want to control the ball. They want to dictate the tempo. I mean, they want to just wear the opponent down with these, like, intricate passing sequences. Yeah. So it really makes for a fascinating clash of styles.
Oh, fascinating is an understatement.
Yeah.
So let's get into the nitty-gritty, like how this tactical battle actually played out.
Yeah, let's.
Starting with the formation. So we've got Liverpool's manager, Arne Slot, going with a 4-3-3. But it was a 4-3-3 that shifted.
Yeah, right.
Into a more attacking 4-2-3-1 when they had possession.
Mm-hmm.
So essentially, one of those midfielders would push higher up the field.
Right, to support the attack.
Yeah.
So it's a formation that gives you a little bit of the best of both worlds, right? You have that defensive stability with those three central midfielders. And then, you know, you can switch to that attacking potency with 4 players up in advanced position.
Yeah, that flexibility is key. Now, City, they stuck with their trademark 4-3-3.
Yeah.
You know, looking to dominate possessions as usual.
As always.
And they did dominate. I mean, they ended up with 66% possession.
They did.
But and this is key here. Possession doesn't always translate to goals.
No.
And this match was a perfect example of that.
It really was. I mean, Liverpool, I think, they were more than happy to cede possession and let City, you know, pass the ball around.
Right.
Their game plan was all about being compact, being compact defensively, forcing City into those mistakes, and then hitting them on the break. Just lightning speed.
Some might even say that Slot was, I don't know, playing like not to lose rather than to win.
It's possible.
Especially given what was at stake.
I think there's an argument to be made there.
Yeah.
He clearly respected City's attack.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And prioritized that defensive solidity. Mm-hmm. But to say he was just parking the bus, you know, like, I don't think that's entirely fair.
Yeah.
They were incredibly efficient when they got those opportunities. And that, I think, speaks to their tactical discipline.
Well, efficient is an understatement when you consider, like, the players who made this tactical masterclass come to life. I mean, Mohamed Salah, he was just clinical.
Oh, he was fantastic.
Wasn't he?
Yeah.
He found space against a City defense that's usually very tight.
Yeah.
You know, he scores that deflected goal in the 14th minute and then provides that brilliant assist to Szoboszlai for that second goal.
Yeah, he was a constant threat, constantly looking to exploit that space behind City's high defensive line. And his movement off the ball.
Oh, yeah.
Exceptional. He really caused problems for that back four.
And let's not forget Szoboszlai. I mean, his goal in the 37th minute, just like a perfect example of Liverpool's efficiency.
Absolutely.
I mean, that was beautiful, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Like he seemed to anticipate where that ball was going to land and then just finished it. So composed.
Ice in his veins.
Yeah.
I mean, he's really come into his own this season, hasn't he?
He has.
His ability to link up that play between the midfield and the attack, I mean, it's crucial for Liverpool.
Absolutely.
He's intelligent, he's so technically gifted, and now he's adding goals.
Goals on top of it.
Yeah.
Now, on the flip side, we got to talk about Kevin De Bruyne, City's midfield maestro.
Right.
He had a really unusually quiet game.
Yeah.
It's like Liverpool's defense just had him figured out.
You know what's fascinating is that they didn't man mark him. Like, you know, they didn't assign a specific player to follow him everywhere he went. They were defending him zonally, right?
Okay.
Cutting off those passing lanes, forcing him into these uncomfortable areas. Really a tactical masterstroke from Slot.
So it wasn't just about, like, individual brilliance from Liverpool's players.
Yeah.
It was this collective effort to just shut down this key playmaker.
It highlights the importance of a well-coordinated, defensive structure, especially against a team like City who thrive on that quick, intricate passing. You can disrupt that rhythm, you can disrupt that flow.
Yeah.
You essentially take away their biggest weapon.
Okay, so let's rewind a bit, go back to that first goal.
Mm-hmm.
That really set the tone for the match.
Right.
It all started with that corner kick.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, brilliantly executed routine. So you've got Mac Allister whips in this low drive. Shaw Bosley does this clever dummy run, to distract those City defenders. And then boom, Salah's there, pounces on that loose ball and finds the back of the net.
Textbook example of how to exploit those set pieces.
Yeah.
Something Liverpool has excelled at under Slot.
Yeah.
Every player knew their role. The timing was perfect. And City they couldn't react quick enough.
Couldn't react.
Yeah.
And then once Liverpool took the lead, it was like their defense became Fort Knox.
Oh, yeah.
Virgil van Dijk, Ibrahima Konate, just rocks at the back, shutting down pretty much every City attack.
A masterclass in defensive positioning and anticipation, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like, remember that moment, I think it was in the 52nd minute when Bernardo Silva thought he had that clear shot on goal, and Konate just came out of nowhere. That perfectly timed sliding tackle, just snuffed out the danger. I mean, it was almost like he knew what Silva was going to do before he even did it.
I remember that. City fans were screaming for a penalty. But it was clean, wasn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Konate got the ball first. Timing was impeccable. And that kind of defensive awareness, I think that's what sets Liverpool apart. It's not just, physicality. They read the game so well, always one step ahead.
We would be remiss if we didn't talk about, I guess, the elephant in the room here.
Yeah.
Erling Haaland's absence, injury.
Big one. City
were clearly missing their main goal scoring threat. And it seemed like they didn't really have a plan B.
Yeah, and it's interesting because they still managed to create, a decent number of chances even without Haaland. They had 16 shots compared to Liverpool's 9.
Right.
But they lacked that clinical edge in the final third. And I think Omar Marmoush, despite his recent hat-trick against Newcastle, he couldn't replicate that Haaland presence, that goal-scoring instinct.
What do you think, what kind of plan B could have worked against Liverpool's setup?
Well, I mean, Guardiola could have maybe considered a more direct approach, right?
Okay.
Maybe bring on a taller striker to try and win those aerial duels.
Okay.
Disrupt that Liverpool backline. Or maybe opted for more width, trying to stretch that Liverpool defense and create space for runners in behind. But it felt like he was determined to stick to those possession-based principles, even without his main weapon.
So, I mean, some might say that he was being too stubborn, too reliant on a system that wasn't quite working on the day.
Perhaps. But you also have to admire that commitment, right? That commitment to his philosophy. I mean, he believes in his system.
Yeah.
He trusts his players to execute it, even in difficult circumstances. And in the past, that belief has brought him incredible success.
True. But this time, it was Arne Slot who had the edge, the tactical edge, that decision to focus on defense, wait for City to make those mistakes and then just hit him on the break with those rapid counterattacks. I mean, brilliant.
Spot on. I mean, he really identified those City weaknesses and their tendency, right, to commit players forward in attack, leaving that space at the back. And he exploited it ruthlessly. It was a very pragmatic approach, but incredibly effective.
Now, the second half, I mean, it wasn't as eventful as the first, but there were still some intriguing moments. It did seem like City kind of adjusted their approach a little bit, didn't they?
A little bit, yeah.
Started pressing higher up the pitch, trying to win the ball back quicker, put Liverpool under more pressure.
Right, yeah. I felt like Guardiola was trying to inject some urgency,
Yeah.
realizing that time was running out.
Yeah.
They had a few, half chances, but Liverpool's defense, they held firm.
Yeah.
I mean, even Alisson in goal, he had, relatively quiet game.
Yeah.
But he made a couple of crucial saves when he was called upon.
Like that save in the 78th minute.
Yeah, from Foden?
Phil Foden's shot.
Yeah, Foden managed to cut inside from the left, unleash that powerful shot.
Okay.
But Alisson reacted brilliantly, just dove to his right, pushed the ball away, and that could have been a turning point.
Big time.
Right, had they scored there.
Yeah.
It was a reminder that even when that Liverpool defense is breached, they have that world-class goalkeeper to bail them out.
So even though the second half lacked goals, it wasn't for lack of trying on City's part.
No, no.
They just couldn't break down that stubborn Liverpool defense.
Exactly. And you could sense that frustration. It was building, in the City players. They were starting to force passes, making those rash decisions, and that played right into Liverpool's hands.
All right, so we talked a lot about tactics and the players, but what about the managers?
Yeah.
What was your take on their performances?
Well, I thought Arne Slot, he really showed his tactical nous in this match, his game plan perfectly executed, and he even made some really smart substitutions to see out the victory.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, Slot, he's really transformed Liverpool since taking over.
Yes.
He's built on those solid foundations that were already there, right? But he's added that tactical flexibility, a bit more attacking flair. It's interesting to see how he's managed to blend that pragmatism with a more adventurous style of play.
And what about Pep? He seemed a bit, frustrated on the touchline, especially in that second half.
Yeah.
Do you think he made any mistakes?
I mean, it's easy to say in hindsight, right?
Yeah. Right.
That he should have had a plan B.
Yeah.
Especially without Highland.
Yeah.
But you got to remember, Guardiola, he's a manager who really believes in his philosophy. He's built one of the most dominant teams in Europe.
Oh yeah.
By playing a specific way, and it's not easy to just change that overnight.
Yeah.
I
get that, but maybe some flexibility would have helped in this particular match.
Possibly,
especially against a team like Liverpool that was so well organized defensively.
It's a fascinating debate, isn't it? That tension between sticking to your principles and adapting to the circumstances.
Yeah.
But, that's what makes football so compelling, right?
Oh, yeah.
It's that constant push and pull between strategy and improvisation.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, zooming out a little bit here, what does this result mean for the Premier League title race? Is this a statement win from Liverpool? Is this a sign that they're going to run away with the title? I think it certainly sends a message to the rest of the league. Liverpool's the team to beat right now.
They are.
They're 11 points clear.
Yeah.
Top of the table. And they're playing with so much confidence. But, it's a long season.
Long season, yeah.
Lots of football left to play.
We can't forget, City, they've come back from bigger deficits before.
Oh, for sure.
This is a team that knows how to win.
Yeah.
And they won't give up easily.
And they'll be hoping that Holland can return from injury soon and give them that boost that they need. This match might actually be a wake-up call.
Yeah.
Right. It might force them to reevaluate their approach, maybe come back even stronger in the second half of the season.
It's going to be fascinating to see how both teams respond to this match. This felt like a real clash of the Titans.
Oh, yeah.
Just this battle for the soul of the Premier League.
And I think what we learned is that sometimes, pragmatism trumps artistry. Sometimes a well-executed plan, a disciplined defense, and that clinical finishing, it can overcome even the most aesthetically pleasing style of play.
All right. So for you, the listener, what are the key takeaways from this deep dive?
Well, it shows you that football, it's complex.
Oh, yeah.
It's multifaceted. There's no one right way to play. And success often comes down to those finer details, tactical awareness, individual brilliance, a bit of luck.
And it also highlights the importance of adaptability, right? Both Liverpool and City, they're teams that are constantly evolving, looking for ways to improve, to stay ahead of the curve. And in a league, as competitive as the Premier League, you can't afford to stand still.
Well said. Well said. This deep dive has been a real treat. It's given us a chance to, really dissect one of the most intriguing matches of the season.
Absolutely.
And gain a deeper appreciation for these tactical nuances and the strategic battles that unfold on the pitch. It's been a pleasure exploring these ideas with you.
Likewise.
And remember, this is just the beginning of the story. The Premier League season, it's a marathon, not a sprint, and there's many more twists and turns to come.
Oh, so many more. So many more. But before we let you go, one final thought to ponder. Could this match be a turning point in the Premier League? Will this be the season where Liverpool finally ends City's dominance and reclaims their place at the top of English football? Or will City find a way to bounce back and prove that they're still the team to beat?
those are the questions you'll have to keep exploring. You know, as the season unfolds, keep an eye on those upcoming fixtures, delve deeper into that tactical analysis, and get ready for the next chapter in this epic rivalry.
Because one thing's for sure, this story is far from over. Until next time, keep diving deep.
Keep diving deep.
And never stop questioning the beautiful game.